In the ancient days of the Achaemenid Empire, when the sun still bowed to the will of Ahura Mazda and the winds carried whispers from the divine bird Simurgh, there ruled a king named Ardashir in the golden halls of Persepolis. He was a just sovereign, beloved by his people, whose crown was no ordinary circlet of gold and jewels. Forged in the heart of Mount Damavand by the hands of celestial smiths and blessed by the Simurgh herself, the crown held the essence of Persia's prosperity. As long as it rested upon a worthy head, the rivers ran full, the fields yielded wheat in abundance, and the empire's banners flew unchallenged from the Indus to the Nile. But envy festers even in paradise. One moonless night, a shadow crept through the palace corridors. It was Varam, the king's own brother, consumed by ambition. He believed the throne belonged to him by right of strength, not birth. With the aid of a treacherous vizier skilled in dark sorceries, Varam stole into the royal bedchamber. As Ardashir slept, Varam lifted the crown from his brow. The moment his fingers touched the sacred metal, a thunderclap shook the palace. The Simurgh's blessing recoiled, the crown burned his unworthy hands, and in panic he fled into the desert, clutching the glowing relic. From that hour, Persia began to wither. The great rivers shrank to trickles. Locusts blackened the sky. Famine gripped the land, and whispers spread that the king had lost the favor of the heavens. Ardashir, now crownless, grew pale and silent. He refused to wear any substitute diadem, declaring, "A false crown mocks the divine. I will wear nothing until the true one returns, or until I join my ancestors in the house of song." Years passed. The empire weakened. Invaders tested the borders. Yet Ardashir never wavered. He sent forth his bravest immortals, elite warriors sworn to protect the realm, to search for the lost crown. Many vanished into the cursed mists of Mount Qaf, where time itself twisted like smoke and legends walked as flesh. Among these warriors was a young captain named Kavi, descendant of the legendary blacksmith who once raised a banner of rebellion against tyranny. Kavi had no noble blood, only an unyielding heart and a spear that had never missed its mark. One night, as he prayed at the fire altar, a vision came. The Simurgh appeared in flames, her wings spanning the stars. "The crown lies not in greed's grasp," she sang, "but awaits one who seeks it for the land, not for himself. Go to the peak where earth kisses sky. Face the guardian of time. Prove your worth." Kavi gathered 3 companions, a wise scribe who knew the old Avestan hymns, a tracker who read secrets in the wind, and a healer whose touch could mend both body and spirit. Together they journeyed across scorched plains and into the forbidden slopes of Mount Qaf. The mountain tested them cruelly. Days became nights in an instant, memories replayed as living ghosts. They fought maticores with human faces, deceived by illusions of lost loved ones, and crossed bridges of frozen time where one misstep meant eternal falling. At last, they reached the summit, a plateau ringed by clouds. There sat Varam, older, broken, the crown fused to his brow like a curse. The metal had grown into his flesh, his eyes glowed with unnatural fire. "Brother sent you," he rasped. "Tell him it is mine now. With this power, I could have saved Persia, ruled it as it deserved." Kavi stepped forward. "You stole light and brought darkness. The crown chooses its bearer. Release it, or be consumed." Varam laughed, a hollow sound, and raised his hand. Winds howled, time fractured. Kavi's companions fell into visions of their own deaths. Alone, Kavi advanced. He did not strike with spear or sword. Instead, he spoke the ancient words of the Simurgh's hymn, offering no claim to power, only a plea for the land's healing. The crown blazed. Varam screamed as the metal tore free, burning away his pride. He collapsed, aged a lifetime in moments, whispering, "Forgive me, I sought to be a god, and became nothing." The crown floated toward Kavi. He knelt, not daring to touch it. A shadow passed overhead, the Simurgh descended, vast and radiant. She lifted the crown in her talons and placed it gently upon Kavi's brow. It fit perfectly, cool and light as dawn. "Return," she commanded. "Restore what was broken." Kavi and his companions descended the mountain. When they reached Persepolis, the rains had already begun. Rivers swelled, fields greened. The people gathered in wonder as their king, frail but unbroken, stepped from his throne to greet them. Ardashir looked upon Kavi and the crown. Tears filled his eyes. "It was never mine alone," he said. "It belongs to Persia. In a ceremony beneath the cedar trees, Ardeshir removed his simple linen band and placed it aside. Kavi knelt once more. The king lifted the true crown and set it upon Kavi's head, not as usurper, but as guardian. Rule with me, brother of the heart, Ardeshir declared. For a king without justice is no king, and a crown without humility is but gilded iron. From that day, Persia flourished anew. The lost crown was lost no more, for it had found its true home, not on one man's brow, but in the will of a people united under light and truth. And high above, the Simurgh circled, watching, her wings a promise that whenever virtue faltered, she would stir once more.